Ryan Clark, America's Racist, is beefing with Marcellus Wiley, friend of the show. How about that? Over an alleged incident that almost happened. I don't know. All I know is this. Is there anything duller than beef? Look, I've been in many a beef. I'll probably be in one today. I saw that idiot Seth Davis wrote something stupid about Indiana basketball, but I'm going to try to stay out of it because Gary tells me I should. My boss, Gary, says that he has a wife because he stayed off social media. And I'm going to try that, other than to promote our show. I think I got a wife because I stayed on social media. I don't know. But what I do know is this. I'm trying to stay out of beefs, but I like watching a good beef. The world against, Elon Musk saying that he is a Nazi when literally every other human being alive did that whole thing that Musk did. That's a beef. Marcellus Wiley, friend of the show, he's got a beef. Let me tell you about the beef. It's with Ryan Clark. They're in the middle of it. Ryan Clark talking bad. Marcellus Wiley talking bad about Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark shouting back, hey, look, we met at a restaurant. You had a chance to settle this and you didn't. Basically suggesting that Marcellus Wiley was chicken blank. All right, here's the deal. Clark likes OutKick, which means I got to start evaluating OutKick. Clay Travis and Bobby Barack and OutKick apparently were being respectful when discussing different opinions between sports and politics. They want me to give credit where credit is due. I am not. I know that Ryan Clark is a fraud. I know that Ryan Clark is a chameleon. Any guy that has his own film crew following him and goes out to the water and cries is a fraud. He's dying for acceptance. I don't accept racism. I don't. I don't care if he made up. I don't care if he called in our show, did our show, and we got 8 million viewers. I wouldn't care about Ryan Clark or his opinions. I don't. I don't like frauds. Never have, never will. And when I lose respect for someone, it's over. That is not godlike. That is not Christian. It's a fatal flaw that I have. But right here, it says, hats off to Ryan Clark. I ain't doing it. No, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. When you're so racist so often, and all you want is others' affirmation, and you're a fraud and a chameleon, and you can go any way you feel like, gets you more clicks. That's what Ryan Clark does. He's an untalented hack that's used DEI to get him where he is. Because there's nothing he provides. There's not one human being alive that says, man, I want to see what Ryan Clark has to say on this issue. That's how I look at it. And frankly, his views are slanted by his incredible racism, his victimhood. So he meets with Bobby, he meets with Clay, whatever, they have a discussion, and now Clark's trying to get us on their side. Not me. I don't do racist. Once you're overtly racist continually, I'm done with you. Both ways, white guy to black, black guy to white. And I don't care. I have 350 million people here in this country. And we're all going to have differing opinions. My opinion is I can't stand it. I watched and was attacked for being white. I was. Numerous times playing basketball in a town that was predominantly black and kicking everybody's ass. Do I have resentments? No, not at all. I just hate it when I see it. And I also saw my neighbor have the N-word put on the side of their house. And I saw the damage it did to them. White dudes, horrible, horrible. I hate racism. I do. I'm sorry. I may be an idiot about a lot of things. I may screw stuff up, but I hate it. And Clark is, in my opinion. His career is solely based on racism. I don't want to say too much to keep my conversation with Ryan Clark private out of respect for him. However, I think it's fair to say we've gained some mutual respect for one another. But I won't speak for him, Bobby said, because Bobby is more open-minded. I'm not. I don't like it. I don't like guys, whether they're white or black, that put themselves in a position for success based on being a racist. I just don't. I'm always open to conversation with people who disagree with me, as am I, until I lose respect for them. Don't like me or think I don't like them. The conversation was very similar to my initial with Jay Williams, with whom I can say is someone I have a great mutual respect for. Okay. That's good. That's good for everybody. That's the way the world should work. It's wild that OutKick, Clay Travis, and Bobby Barack can be seen conversing about differences like how professional adults work. Well, no, it's not wild. It's wild to you. See, it's wild to you because here at OutKick, that's what we do. We get rid of the bullshit and we go to the source. And we do it unbiased. But, of course, it's wild to Ryan Clark because he's so one-sidedly biased and really not very bright, and he's such a front man Meaning, follow me with a camera crew, and I'm going to act like I'm in this deep thought. It's all bullshit. And I don't do bullshit. I'm too old. Clay and Bobby are younger than me. I get it. Maybe when I was their age I did, but I see through all this bullshit now, and I'm not having it. See, what Ryan Clark is doing is he's following the playbook of Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, he started out being racist, and now he's realized, wait a second, I can open up a whole new world because I can be the conservative. That's all that is. That's all Clark's doing. He ain't fooling me. I've seen this act before many, many times. And you can parse my words, and I'm sure somehow somebody will, and make me out to look a bad guy for saying this, but that's cool. That's how I feel. Again, 350 million people. We got differing opinions. This is mine. Anyway, and Marcellus Wiley, see, this is what he has to do. He's currying favor with one side while he's going to use that to rip another side. While Marcellus Wiley would rather laugh and giggle for 10 extra views than have a respectful conversation. Really? That's always the thing. See, that's always, you're doing this for clicks. Oh, okay. Really? You think that's what Marcellus Wiley is doing? He's doing it for clicks? Arguing with you? I don't even know what the beef is about. I did initially, and now I'm like, I don't know. And I don't care. Beefs are stupid, and I've been in a million of them, and I agree with my boss, Gary. They're just stupid. So what do you get out of them? But somehow, some way, I still engage in them, and I have no idea why. I really don't. Clay chimes in, don't know the full story here, but face-to-face convos make sense in general. Yes, they do. Think we need more of them between people who disagree on issues. See, I don't disagree on issues. I just hate frauds. I just hate bullshit. And Ryan Clark is a fraud and a bullshitter. It's the way I look at it. Now, I'm going against, obviously, Clay and Bobby, two of my favorite people. But that's the way I feel. I don't fall for bullshit. I don't go for bullshit easy. If I sat down with Ryan Clark, I'd be like, okay, I'm sure you're very smart. You are. I mean, smart people figure out a way, and he's figured out a way. Do what Stephen A. Smith does. It's pretty smart. We'll get to Stephen A. Smith in a minute. Clark accused Wiley of ducking him when he asked him to have a man-to-man conversation about their differences. 3 minutes later, he shared another post on us claiming he called Wiley, who answered the phone but hung up, like a coward. I'm with Gary. Beefs are stupid. I mean, they're kind of fun when you're doing them. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at others' beefs, which is like, you're like, that's really stupid. So then you got to look at your own beef, if you can follow me here, and go, that's really stupid. In fact, I posted something today going at Seth Davis, but Seth Davis is such a useless opponent when it comes to Indiana basketball. I just deleted it. I'm telling you, I think I've grown up today. I think I'm becoming somebody that the OutKick family can be respectable of. I think I'm becoming somebody that has grown up at 62 years old because beefs are stupid. They're just really, really stupid. Not lost in all this was Clark giving a shout-out to OutKick. Yeah, I don't care. See, if Clark is giving you a shout-out, you got to go in a dark room and figure out if you're doing something wrong. That's the way I look at it. And our willingness to talk about differences with actual voices and not Twitter fingers, that's good. Many different writers and personality at OutKick have been critical of Clark and ESPN over the years, including Barack. Yet he was more than willing to have a conversation with Clark to offer his point of view while hearing and respecting the other side of the story as well. Okay. Yeah, it's good. That's really good. But see, I was built with this gene. It's a bad gene. My mother always says you get it from your father. I was built with this gene. Once I don't respect you, I really don't care what you say because I don't really care about your words. I care about your actions. And I watch this guy, Clark, and I'm like, I don't respect it. So I'm supposed to praise all this, and it is nice. It is nice. Can't we all just get along? Yeah, but the truth of the matter is we can for a minute. But, again, I got this bad gene. It's a gene that says when I don't respect you, I am done with you. Done. D-U-N. Done. It's over. I'm like the mayor of Philadelphia with my spelling right there, although I did it on purpose. So good for everybody. Everybody's saying kumbaya. We had a chance to sit down. Ryan Clark is outsmarting us again because now he's trying to open up a whole new world for Ryan Clark. He's trying to stay ahead of it, and that's smart. That's the Larry Brown world. Larry Brown, famously NBA college coach that left the job every 5 minutes and literally coached at 15, I think it is, different NBA teams. I may have missed a couple. It's probably more than 15. But he stayed ahead of the posse, as Larry Brown used to say. And that's what my man here is doing. He's opening up a new avenue. Next thing you know, he'll be on Hannity. Good for him. I ain't buying it. I ain't buying Stephen A. Smith either. Stephen A. Smith explains why he feels concerned about the removal of DEI measures that Donald Trump signed. He signed a slew of executive actions pulling back the prior initiatives. Well, he should. Look, Stephen A. Smith was done out. Horrible radio host. Ridiculously bad. In Indianapolis, he replaced the great Steve Saban. And on my drive into work, Stephen A. Smith would be talking. And it was awful. Then one day he got fired for like the 100th time. Well, Skip Bayless had to go DEI on his show. He had to have African American. And apparently he knew Stephen A. Smith. So he hired Stephen A. Smith for whatever that, I forget, Get Up? Is that? No, First Take. Stephen A. Smith did what Stephen A. Smith does. Eventually, Stephen A. Smith was so miserable to work with that he got Bayless out of there. Max Kellerman came in because DEI had to have a white guy. Max Kellerman came in. Smith thought he should drive the whole bus, didn't need a cohort. He got Kellerman fired. That's what Smith does. So, of course, he wants DEI. Of course, it saved his career. So he can sit there and be concerned all he wants. See, being, quote, concerned is teetering the fence. He wants to be a conservative because it opens a whole new world for him. The African-American guy that goes on Hannity, or the guy that everybody points to and says, look, you too can be a conservative. He's a trailblazer. I get it. He's right. But listen, he should want DEI. And in fact, I would argue some DEI probably isn't bad. I'd probably go with him because I know people in big business. I know people that hire. I do. And a lot of them ain't the best people. And a lot of them are, they may need a directive. So I'm not negative on what Stephen A. Smith's saying, but of course Stephen A. Smith's going to say this. He should. Here it is.
That's my concern. The top personality at ESPN. That is not me complimenting you. It's a fact. You are number one. Yes. Did you get there because of DEI?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I know that
but you don't have to worry.
I think a legitimate argument can be made that my inception into this business might have played a role in that. That might have played a role. Absolutely.
But my point is, you don't have to worry. Your life is a testament to merit winning out over the necessity to prioritize skin color. You pointed out that people will be like, well, everybody that was hired over the past 5 years were beneficiaries of DEI. You know, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas talked about this. That's one of the prices of affirmative action, because some people get something that they might not have earned for their superficial characteristics. Then it's logical to look around and go, well, if you have those same characteristics and you didn't earn it, or you didn't get it for merit, did you not earn it? My point is, DEI actually undercuts people like you who earned it by merit.
And I'm saying to you, that argument can be made in some cases, and in some cases it cannot be. So the way you truly eradicate it, let's say, for example, like you just did, you want to eradicate DEI programs, and then the hiring process is revisited, and 40% of the candidates are African Americans or Latinos or a combination of the both, and 60% of them are white. Nobody's going to have a problem with that. But if 95 to 100% of them are white, from the moment that DEI is eradicated, then you're sending the message that the only reason other folks had those opportunities was because of DEI as opposed to their qualifications. And I'm saying you have to be mindful and careful of making sure that that message is not disseminated, because that's inaccurate, and history has proven that.
Yeah, it's just a lot of talk. He is there because they needed to hire an African-American guy. Now, I don't know if that's DEI or just smart. I would argue it's smart. But that was just bullshit. I mean, he's just talking. So I'm not paying attention to anything that was said there. Will Cain, his point is basically Stephen A. Smith earned where he is. Stephen A. Smith got in based on DEI. And then he earned it. But that's really not how it goes at ESPN. It's really not. I mean, what happens at ESPN is you need one of the higher-ups to really like your stuff, and then he pulls you along into these positions. Of course, it's always up to you, and Stephen A. Smith has done a masterful job of creating this character of Stephen A. Smith. Masterful. I mean, he's been brilliant. Now, having said that, he got in on DEI. So my argument is that bad? I don't think that's bad. Like if you look at ESPN and you say, okay, I don't know the actual numbers, but they tell me, and I don't necessarily believe this, they tell me that Stephen A. Smith's show does really well with advertisers and makes money. I mean, they're going to give the dude $20 million a year, so it must. But he didn't become Stephen A. Smith because of DEI. He got the entry because of DEI. But let me go farther on that. He got the entry because of DEI, but also because he had a background. He was a really bad writer for the Philadelphia whatever paper it was. He kissed the ass of Allen Iverson. That helped him. I think he introduced Iverson. Then he got into shows, and he was really bad as a radio. Horrible. Awful. Like historically awful. But timing is everything at ESPN. Everything. And he hit at a time where they were doing this show, but then it's up to him to stay there. And he has. And he's done great. So, yes, I agree with Smith in some areas. Sometimes, look, if you're hiring a basketball staff, your athletic director will tell you as a white coach, you better get some African Americans in here. Is that DEI or is that just smart? I would argue that's just smart. So I see both sides in this. That's why you love my show. I see both sides. You know, I see where you can say, hey, look, man, DEI, everybody that gets every job should be qualified, the most qualified, the best interviewee, etc. Fine. But I also understand that sometimes it's good business to get somebody in there because of their, quote, as they said, external look, who you think can build upon that. You know, what you have in college basketball now in announcing is too many guys that are in there because of the external look or because of their name. It's not only black guy, because of their name, and they're horrible at what they do. But because of the inventory, they fill boxes. We want a former player, younger guy. We want African-American. We want a white guy. We want an older guy, whatever. I get it, but Stephen A. Smith has used what he wasn't given. He used the access he got and built an empire, and it's impressive. So I kind of see both sides here. I kind of see where somebody tells me the most qualified should get the job. Sure, that's true. But I also see where, hey, wait a second here. There are some extenuating circumstances that are going to lead us to, let's just use DEI. But it doesn't last. If you're an untalented bum, only in college basketball announcing can you remain. Stephen A. Smith would not be where he is right now if he were just a DEI hire. He's brilliant. He knows his shtick, and people buy it. Simple. I ain't mad at him for it either. I ain't. This is one of those few things where I legitimately see both sides. You know, there's a beef in Kentucky, and the guy at the center of the beef is a guy named Matt Jones. Now, Matt Jones is one of these guys. He's kind of a doughy guy that never played, never coached, and he left CBS Sports to go to and he's smart too. He started a Kentucky radio network. I think it's KSR, it's KS Sports. I don't know what the hell it's called. But anyway, they're going after Seth Greenberg. Matt Jones is a local host who tries real hard to kiss ass. He tried to get into politics. Basically, everything Matt Jones does outside of his radio show is a failure. He just bitches, whines, and moans. And he will pander to Kentucky folk. I think he even faked an accent. But anyway, he's taken issue with our friend Seth Greenberg. All Seth Greenberg did was say, hey, Kentucky fans, stop worrying about John Calipari. Throw yourself into this team. Throw yourself into Mark Pope's team. You got Calipari out of there. You wanted the big bad wolf gone. You wanted him gone. So throw yourself into this team. Well, Matt Jones, of course, because he, Jeff Goodman, and others don't like me, don't like Seth Greenberg, I get it. He takes issue with it. So here's this guy coming at our guy.
And speaking of things I disagree with, what is with Seth Greenberg? What is his deal? Why do he and Jay Williams feel like they need to tell us how to think about Cal?
Yeah.
You had Jay Williams say on Saturday something to the effect of, yes, Arkansas is struggling, Cal's behind. Part of it is because BBN complains so much about him, basically. Then Seth Greenberg says something like, Kentucky fans should worry about their team. Shut up! How are you supposed to expect us to not have an opinion about the coach who was here and left us for a team in the conference?
Right.
Stop. And Seth, a message.
Just a message.
None of us are going to change our behavior based on you. You're not one of us.
Well, Seth Greenberg isn't going to change what he says because of you. You're not a sports guy. Simple. Like Seth Greenberg, myself, it's hard for us to talk hoops with people like Matt Jones because they don't know anything about what they're talking about. And Greenberg's right. Kentucky fans have always had this incredible insecurity about themselves. They've always had this, well, if you talk about anybody else, well, we're still the Cats. We're the Cats. What about them Cats? They always bring it back to their own stupidity and their own team. Always. Hey, Dakich, what do you think about them Cats? I don't. Hey, Dakich, we hate you. You're an Indiana guy. What about? So now all of a sudden, it's not about them Cats that these jackasses on KSR and other places espouse so often. It's not. Now it's about Cal. See, Cal jilted them. It's the most insecure fan base in America. Let's be honest. There is no more insecure fan base. Hey, what are you talking about, Purdue? What about them Cats? Them Cats suck. You want the truth? Them Cats are an irrelevant program. There aren't people anymore that can name a player on Kentucky. Not one. Now, they always come back, well, so's Indiana, Dakich. Yes, you're right. I don't know what to tell you. I live in the real world. It's amazing, seriously. Next time you see a guy wearing a Kentucky shirt, just for the hell of it, go, how about them Cats? Oh, let me tell you about them Cats. No, they suck. When I watched them the other day. It was a great game. Kentucky, Alabama, Rupp was jumping. But guess what? They got their ass beat. It's what they do. But it drives them crazy. It drives guys like Matt Jones and all these insecure radio hosts nuts that somebody would call them out. Their leader, their hero, their savior. Hey, when they hired Calipari, man, oh man, they put him on stage like LeBron and Bosch and Wade. They had a big celebration. Cal was doing them a favor. Billy Gillespie, the coach before Cal, they were doing him a favor. They kissed the ring. Matt Jones literally and his little cohorts, they went and bought knee pads. They did. It's unbelievable. And then the inevitable happened. The world caught up to Cal. The world caught up to Kentucky. Once everybody started paying players, Kentucky is back to irrelevant. Think about it. The whole state of Kentucky, other than one weekend, first weekend in May, is irrelevant. There's nothing. What's there? Kentucky Derby. But that ain't Kentucky. That's Louisville. You might as well be Indiana. So Seth Greenberg and Jay Williams said it absolutely right. The little clowns, the insecure clowns, that all they want to do is talk about the Cats. That's it. Well, now they want to talk about Cal. All right, let me tell you about Cal. No, I don't need to know about Cal, you dipshit. No, but it's amazing. So now, after all this time, 100 years, like I've been watching Kentucky basketball and this bullshit before Matt Jones was born. It was always about them Cats. Now, I'm glad to see them Hogs is losing. Them Hogs is losing. Cal can suck it. He left us. Now it's about Cal. Shut up and coach your own team. Root for your own team. Worry about your own team. Seriously, your own team is irrelevant. Your own team can't compete anymore in the SEC. Your own team doesn't do anything. Yeah, I know Indiana sucks. I've said Indiana sucks. I've been at the forefront of saying Indiana sucks. That's always the answer. It's kind of like, but Trump. What was every crazy-ass liberal's response? But Trump. Okay, but Trump. All right, but Trump what? That's always Kentucky's. But Indiana, right now, they're 8th in the Southeast Conference. They're 8th. Well, that's good. Okay. I mean, that's about where they are. That's about it. Got their ass kicked at Georgia. Got their ass kicked at home the other night. Oh, okay. Got their ass kicked by a bad Ohio State team. Oh, okay. They're 8th in the SEC. And because they're 8th and because they're irrelevant, they're climbing, gripping, clawing to Cal because he's worse. And they love it. Draymond Green, I'm not a fan. Draymond Green is a punk. Draymond Green is a coward. Draymond Green always used to be my go-to interview when I was covering the Big Ten and he was at Michigan State, but he has offered an apology over 2 years after punching Jordan Poole. Remember that? That was assault. Draymond Green, noted tough guy, sucker punched one of his own teammates and then has parlayed that into a career where we're supposed to care about one of the dumbest athletes that's ever been around. But he sent a clear message to his former teammate, sending a lengthy message directly to Poole after the former Golden State Warrior received a warm reception at Chase Center. Get over it. That's what Green said. On Saturday, Poole pointedly said that he loves most of the guys over there. After the comments, Green posted on social media, "I really am sorry." But Green then explained on his apology and also asked Poole, who is now with the Wizards, to let it go and to move on. All right. I wish Poole would punch him. Now, that's not right? But Poole will never fully be cleansed unless he punched him. Here's the punch. Here's Green. You see him there. Poole is going to walk underneath the basket. Green circles back because he's a tough guy, yapping, talking, acting like a dumbass, which he is. I didn't think so initially, but now I do. Now here comes Green. Green's going to come over. He's still talking. Nobody's really looking at him. He's still talking. He bumps him, gets shoved, boom. Dives into him with a fist. There's your Draymond Green that you're going to see on TNT. There's your media star. This is your hero. Walking up on a teammate and then sucker punching him. But he's your hero, TNT. He's your hero. He's a jackass. Here is the audio from this idiot Green.
We got to start with the tweet, bro. After the Washington Wizards game, Jordan Poole said, "I love those guys over there. I love most of those guys over there." And then you respond with a tweet that says,
"I really am sorry."
"I really am sorry." Why did you respond to that?
I responded because, like, it's been 3 years. Like, let's move on.
Where's the love?
We moved on. Like, we're supposed to move on, man. I really am sorry.
Right.
Like, it was that statement was kind of like, it was kind of like it was looking for some sympathy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I kind of keep wanting to make me out to be the bad guy. Move on, bro. Like, it is what it is. I'm sorry. Like, I shouldn't have punched him. But it happened. Like, let's move on, man. I even apologized to his parents because I got his dad popped off one time on the internet, and I went back at him because it was just like, bro, why you popping off? And I actually didn't like myself for it because I wasn't even on that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I kind of let him get me off my square a little bit. Because I've said what I said about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of go
It's
back.
over, bro.
Yeah, bro.
It's over.
I be kind of going back and forth with this on like, I'll be kind of in between on certain days like, yo, I know I was wrong, but you can't call a man a B word and push him and not get hit either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I kind of
word.
You know what I'm saying? I kind of sit in both of those spaces sometimes. And
Yeah.
like the reality is The answer is probably somewhere in the middle, right? Like, I shouldn't have knocked him out like that. If anything, I should have hemmed him up. Kind of was just a natural reaction. So the reality.
Honest to God, we all got dumber. We all just got dumber. You should have hemmed him up. Okay. Yeah. All right. It's no surprise on this show that we love many things. Two of the things we love is beef. There's beef. And OnlyFans. I can't say that I love OnlyFans. I don't know what OnlyFans is. And, the truth of the matter is apparently these girls are making a lot of money. I wish they had OnlyFans for dudes. I would take off, put a Speedo on, put my finger in my mouth. Anyway, all right, let's go. Well, what happens when you have two OnlyFans tycoons beefing over who came up with the amazing idea to be the first to get frisky with over 1,000 men in a day? You get one hell of a story. That's right, we're beefing over who's the biggest whore. If you ever watched 2.5 Men, he's a whore, is what Cloris Leachman said. Yeah, that's right. I went Cloris Leachman on you on a Friday. The quest to sleep with 1,000 men by these whores in one day has taken a turn. Started as one content creator's dream to put her name in the record books. Can you imagine being her father? Honey, how about you don't let 1,000 men stick it in there, all right? A little self-respect, but hey, you do you. Now there are claims of stealing and betrayal. Those claims are being made by the record setter herself, Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue says it was her idea to sleep with 1,000 men in one day, well before she says she broke the record by sleeping with 1,057 men in 12 hours. Blue says she shared that idea with another whore, Lily Phillips. Phillips turned around and betrayed her. We've got a whore off here. Woo, baby. Way before Lily even put it on her socials that she'd like to do the world sex record. And when I helped her out and invited her to do my Freshers content, I shared the idea with her saying that I really wanted to do the world record. And I guess I'm very trustworthy and oblivious to people's bitterness. So I shared my idea that I'd like to do it. Then it wasn't until November, 3 months later, she then announced on her socials that she was setting the world record. Rivalry suggests competition. And that I don't know. In terms of the world record, both me and Lily knew it was my idea as I had spoken to her about, hey, Bonnie Blue, you can have the idea, but to sit back and take it from over 1,000 dudes, that takes real courage. That takes real fortitude. Yeah, it does. Yeah. What are we talking about here? I like this show. It's become Jerry Springer. All we need is somebody throwing a chair about having a bad paternity test. I was rooting hard for the modern day. I was rooting hard for a modern day content war, the type of battle we witnessed during the 1998 single season home run chase. Yeah, that's right. Content creator pushing content creator. That's not how this one's going to work out, though. Things have taken a turn. The balls are now in Lily Phillips' mouth, or court. Can she top Bonnie Blue's performance? We shall see. Who do you blame more in this? Like the chicks or the dudes? I mean, apparently, I'm going to get a little graphic here. Apparently, you line it up, put a condom on, one pump, and you're out. I don't know if there's a fluffer that's getting you ready to rock and roll, but I don't know what to tell you. Jim Acosta, speaking of fluffers, may soon be demoted to the graveyard shift. That's right, because he's an idiot. That's what it says here. He may have said the dumbest thing I've ever heard yesterday on CNN while sparring with Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett, saying the fake news network that is CNN is losing viewership to children's programs like SpongeBob SquarePants. Let's see this great exchange.
This is not Fox, Congressman. You can't just spin a tail and pull the wool over people's eyes.
Yeah.
This is CNN. This is the news. We are asking you to come on and tell the truth. And that's why more people are watching the Cartoon Network SpongeBob reruns right now, Jim. Look, I left the White House during a riot. My life was threatened. My life has been threatened within the last few weeks, yet there's no coverage of that. And you all continue this narrative of attacking Trump. You just can't stand the fact that he won and that America spoke.
Congressman,
and that,
no,
and that your
that's not
view
the
is
case.
very diminished.
That's not the case at all.
And your view is very diminished.
Dun, 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 dun. Woo. That's strong. Hey, man, more people are watching SpongeBob SquarePants than watching CNN. That's pretty good. That's really good.